accusations about me, and he said that I was promiscuous. Now when I look at that word means a woman that sleeps around with more than one man. I've only have 2 public relationships in my entire life. I'm 42 years old. So that was very wrong from a pastor coming from his mouth to say those things about me. Now when you made your speech, you said you don't know anything about me, yet you went on to elaborate and you speak on my character more than one time. So it shows that you do know about me. So that again is another lie. So what I want us to realize here is that we're talking of the issue of school, we're speaking on the issue of school, but I want the church to realize that you cannot do it alone. When you're grooming a child, it takes more than one party to raise the child, which is why the Ministry of Education is saying that they needed to speak to the parents. Because whatever is affecting that child at home, it affects them in their reality. When they brought the woman to him, that they thought she was selling herself or whatever, and he was the one that replied and said, "Let he that is without sin cast the first stone." So because you use your scripture, I want you to use my scripture as well, because I am a woman of God and I read my Bible. And I use all those scriptures and I can continue. I can speak also on David. When Samuel went to anoint the brothers, the father did cast out David and think he was not fit enough because he was dirty and in the field. This is how the church is making me feel, which is why I'm going into the Bible so much to speak on these different issues. Because the church is making me feel like I'm cast out on a side and I'm not good enough to speak to the children. So I'm using all these scriptures so that the church can hear me. When Samuel went to David's house, there was other brothers that was there that was clean and more fitting, and the father thought that those were the brothers that should have become king, and that was the one that Saul should have anointed. But when the father brought these brothers in front of Samuel, God said to Samuel, no, he rejected them. Those are not the brothers. And so Samuel said, you must have another child. So there's someone, and the father said, no man, he's a little dirty boy. You don't want that one. He's out in the field keeping the sheep. You know what my story is leading to? The church is casting me out. But you're casting me out, not knowing that God can use me to get the message across. Because before I came here, the schools that the Ministry of Education was mentioning was already having 0 passes before I said I was going to do a school tour, which means there's a problem that is already existing in the school. So while the church may feel like, oh, it's the church alone must do this and the church, you don't know how God moves. God moves in mysterious ways. So I am very saddened to know that the church, who should have come and joined force with me to go into the school to speak with this, is casting me aside, as like David was casted by in outside when he was doing the sheep, when David was the one and everybody thought it was the other way around. So let me just come out of the Bible a little bit, because I was staying there since I'm dealing with the church. Kids, they learn from influences. That is why when we do the lewd lyrics, we get blamed for the way the kids behave. So if I, as Spice, because you say you cannot separate the two, even though when you go on the pulpit and you preach as a preacher, when you're there woman and preach to your kids them, so you go back to being a parent. But you say we cannot separate the two, right? So let us just work with the facts that we cannot separate the two. Let's just work with me being an influencer. You said my lewd lyrics are influencing these children. So why the Spice, since I can't be myself and I can't be Grace Hamilton, why the Spice that the church feel like is bringing the children astray should not be the same Spice to go back and tell them that this is wrong, to say no. Because my tour was not a performance tour, so I'm not sure where we were being misled, because the church keeps speaking about the songs that I sing, the lyrics that I sing, the content of my music video. I wasn't showing any music videos. I wasn't performing any songs. You guys are speaking on a song that I have released, and I'm kind of clueless, but you guys said you can't separate the two, which is fine. If Ali Berry, who is an actress, should come here and wants to go into the school, I'm sure she would not be stopped. Yes, if I turn on my television, she have videos and movies where she performs them on TV. I don't know if I should say the word naked or nude. So I feel like there's a selective outrage coming from the church against me, because might I also add that I don't need to mention any names, but there have been other of my peers that has been doing performance